We're here atop Halifax Citadel within the fort. If you look out over my right shoulder towards the two bridges in the distance, this is the north end of Halifax. The Halifax side of the two bridges was the blast zone. On the morning in question, two ships collided in that zone. There was a lot of confusion about which direction they were going, which side of the harbor they were on, who was at fault.
Early in the morning, SS Mont Blanc, the French munitions ship, came up from there along the Dartmouth side, close to shore. The rules were that incoming ships came up the Dartmouth side, outgoing ships went out the Halifax side. The Emo was coming down from Narrows. It had left without permission. At one point, Emo went in reverse. It blew 3 signals and went in reverse. And the bow of the ship, because the ship was light in the water, you could see the propeller in the water, and it had no cargo in it, it was in ballast. So the bow of the ship went to starboard and T-boned the Mont Blanc in hold number 1. The SS Mont Blanc came in over here, just around that Halifax shipyard sign, at the bottom of Richmond Street. The ship was already on fire. It was engulfed. The crew left in a hurry. Hundreds of people were in jeopardy. I don't know how many people were killed here, but there were people on the bridge watching the fire that took place for 20 minutes. And it was just an immense catastrophe that happened within a 50th of a second. It was very close to what could be called it was a chemical explosion, but because of the compactness of it in the ship and the cocktail of chemicals, nitroglycerin, picric acid, TNT, the explosion was just tremendous, and it just happened very, very quickly, just like very akin to a nuclear explosion. When we talk about the damage that was done, this is ground zero. I mean, this is where the explosion happened. Everything here was flattened. Pier 7 was over here. This would have been Pier 8. The Caracas, a ship called the Caracas, was right here, and another ship called the Cologne was right behind us. These ships were loading horses at the time. Out of the a lot of the men were killed along here.
On the day of the explosion, the citadel itself, the hill, the bulk of the hill, acted like a shock absorber, protecting much of the city beyond it, what's now known as the south end, the western parts of the city, from suffering the brunt of the damage. In the immediate aftermath, there was chaos and devastation, as you can imagine. The downtown areas were hit particularly hard. Although the blast zone is a fair distance away, people were scrambling up Citadel Hill looking for refuge, looking for safety, looking for medical supplies, shelter, and so forth. Many of them came into Citadel, and they would have been fitted out in converted barracks rooms, given medical assistance, shelter, food, supplies. So some of the areas you see here directly behind me would have been a direct assistance to these people on the day of the explosion.
To me, it symbolizes the two things. It symbolizes the devastation and the disaster and the utter sorrow, but yet it symbolizes the courage and the strength and how a community came together. You had a city of little communities that never associated with each other, never got along, never the rich and the poor and the black and the natives, and suddenly they were forced, as of December 6, 1917, to either get together or be gone.
And I note that we have Cecilia Coulin with us today, who was Wonderful to see you. She was 10 days old when the explosion happened, and they found her under her crib.
Mom and Dad, they lived in the North End, but the house caught fire, but they got out, they were safe. And I was only 10 days old, and I was thrown up against the wall, and the crib tipped over. I always land against the wall. But everything else, I got along all right. I hurt my back a bit, you didn't know, but they thought I was all right, but I didn't walk till I was 3 years old.
Behind me is Grace, and she's working on one of the sheets that have been are in the script from the Book of Remembrance, which is the list of victims during the Halifax explosion, which was just under 2,000 people recorded. I have had that Book of Remembrance translated into Braille dots, and people throughout the province and beyond have been beating it for the last 2 years. And the project's just about completed and will be unveiled here today, the first 12 columns, which eventually, when it's finished, when they're hung, will be 40 feet long. The work that I'm creating in my studio is in indigo blue, and the indigo blue represents the scars that people were left with after the blast. There was a rain of oily black wet that came down upon people and coated them in so much that they were unrecognizable. And when their scars were healing, they were indigo blue.
But the passage of time, it could not wash away the stains on their skin from December's black rain. Can you imagine how it must have been that morning, December 1917, when down from the heavens destruction it came?